months ago, we looked at some Harry Potter fan theories, and you guys seem to love that, so we're back with 5 more, and these ones are really, really good. So the first one is a really interesting one, and this is that the Weasleys were actually planted in Harry Potter's life. So Dumbledore, as a character, gets a lot of hate for toying with Harry's survival. Some think the manipulation actually runs a lot deeper than what we see. There are some suggestions that the control he has over Harry's life was absolute, and therefore he actually planted the Weasleys into his life. Now this probably, if it's true, did come from a place of good intentions, as Dumbledore was more than aware of how alone Harry actually was in the world. He didn't have his family, he knew no one in the Wizarding community, and if the Dursleys got their way, he'd probably never meet anyone like him ever. So the theory suggests that planting the Weasleys in Harry's life actually made his life better. It was a good thing, there were good intentions behind it. So Molly very much became a mother to Harry. She helped him get his books in Diagon Alley, she helped him with the flu powder, helped him get through the wall, and get him through the wall to platform 9 3/4, I should say. He made not only friends in Ron and his family, his siblings, but also got siblings of his own, and also a love interest in Ginny. And it does kind of work, I guess, if you think that, you know, Harry starts to go to Quidditch matches and he has Christmases where he gets presents. I mean, Molly had met Harry once and she knitted him a jumper. You don't do that for someone if you're not thinking that they're going to be part of your life. So I can kind of see this, but if this was true, then I would think that Molly and Arthur would be in on it as well. You know, they would have to have some sort of knowing. I mean, if you look at when Harry turned up at the Weasley's house, Arthur seemed completely unconcerned that he was there. Wasn't fazed by Harry Potter being in his kitchen. He was more amazed that his flying car had worked, and more interested that he could talk to someone about rubber ducks. You know, if you kind of put it that way and you think about all the other factors, then yeah, absolutely. I think that they could have been planted, but the Weasleys knew. They were in on it. So that one I'm kind of leaning towards more true than not, but I think because it's such a nice one, that's why. So number 2, I really like this theory, but in my head I can disprove it. I can say, no, this isn't true. So it's that the behaviour that Draco Malfoy has in the 6th year signals that he could have been a werewolf. So in The Half-Blood Prince, Draco's going through a really difficult time. He has been tasked with Dumbledore, he's been taken under the wing of Voldemort. It's all happening for this kid. Like, his dad's in Azkaban, I think, at this point as well. Like, this kid is going through it. This might also be around the time that his house is actually being taken over by Voldemort and his servants. So he's going through a lot. And obviously he has very pale skin anyway, but he looks more pale. He looked sick. His eyes looked more sort of drawn. He just doesn't look all there. But the theory goes that they think Draco was actually bitten by Fenrir Greyback, the same werewolf that bit Remus. So the pale skin, the chaotic behaviour, that's where this has kind of come to. This is where people have got this together. And of course it's possible. I mean, of course it is. It appeared as though werewolves were out there biting and scratching people as it was, because we know that Inquisitor Bill actually is a werewolf as well. He got scratched by Greyback. But for me, I don't think this is actually a legit thing. I don't think this is a genuine, I don't think it's going to be confirmed is what I'm trying to say. Because if you think about everything I've said, Voldemort's living in your house, your dad's in Azkaban, you've now got basically what is deemed an impossible task of killing Dumbledore, you're not going to be feeling your best. You're going to be feeling that pressure and everything like that. So for me, I don't think this is a theory that can be confirmed. But I'll be interested to know what you guys think about these, especially this one. Let me know if you agree with it or what you think. Okay, number 3. Horcruxes require an act of cannibalism. We're going quite dark with this one, guys. So this is one of the more gruesome theories in the Harry Potter fandom, and that is the exact nature that is needed to create a Horcrux. So obviously the running guess is murder, because Voldemort murders someone and then he splits his soul. That is what we've been led to believe. But a theory's out there that actually cannibalism might be the heinous thing required in order to transfer your soul into another person or object or animal. The theory concludes with the fact that his followers were called Death Eaters, and it's a play on the fact that their leader was eating people in order to live forever. Now, when I was researching this, I was thinking, gosh, that's really dark, like cannibalism. But then you get to the whole Death Eater thing and I went, that's an interesting thought. I don't know where I stand with this one. I think I could see it being a theory, like being true, being confirmed. But on the flip side, I'm wondering, is it kind of a bit of a far stretch? Is it a little bit, are you reading into things that maybe don't exist? Don't know. This one I'm on the fence about. I think if it is true, it's quite a interesting theory, it's quite an interesting way to go, but I'm not sure if it's true. I can't decide about this one, guys. Let me know what you think, as I said, but I'm really not sure about this one. So next we have that the Marauders actually left the Marauders map in Filch's office on purpose. So when the Weasley twins gift the Marauders map to Harry, they confess that they found it lying about in Filch's office. And the belief is that Filch confiscated the map from the Marauders and he kept it in his office when he couldn't figure out what it was, probably believing that it was just a joke, it was just something from one of the wizarding shops in Hogsmeade. But this doesn't actually make much sense. If you think how mischievous the Marauders were, they easily could have outsmarted Filch, got their map back. They could have used Peeves to create a distraction and stole their map back. So this one, that part, I'm going, actually, yeah, no, that does make sense. They could have got it back. And the fact that they'd be able to see Filch coming on the map, you kind of would be like, well, actually, like, they would be able to preempt what was going to happen, potentially. And another thing to consider is, once they've left Hogwarts, the map doesn't actually have any use to them anymore. They don't really need to know who's wandering around where, do they? But it stands to reason that they thought, there's other troublemakers out there like us. This could be really useful for them. Let's leave it behind. It allows them to leave a bit of legacy behind. They're able to leave that kind of naughty streak behind them as well, knowing that others are going to be able to carry on evading trouble and just causing mischief. Now, it's such a small little theory that doesn't really impact any other part of the story, of the universe, anything like that. It just gives a cute little sort of nod to the Marauders, and it's a nice little link that, you know, they really were mischievous and they knew that they could continue helping generations of troublemakers just by leaving this behind. I do like that theory and I can believe it. That's one I just think actually that's a really nice theory, and yeah, I could see that being a legit thing. So the last one we have is that Ron is a seer, but he just doesn't know it. So this is probably one of the more interesting ones, and it proposes that Ron has psychic abilities, but he just isn't aware of them yet. And this is purely based on the fact that Ron seems to predict things that are happening before they happen. So for example, in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Ron makes just an offhanded comment about how Tom Riddle probably killed Myrtle, which he did. And this continues throughout the Harry Potter series, especially when Ron starts to invent dreams for the Dream Diary that he has to put together for Professor Trelawney. And what's more, fans believe that his ability to be able to predict the future is actually why Ron is so good at wizard's chess. And predicting the future is one of the branches of magic that exist in the Harry Potter universe, so it's not out the realm of possibility that this actually is true. But that's 5 theories for you guys that I found and I thought they were really interesting. As I've mentioned, I do think some of these are true. This last one I absolutely could believe. I think Ron has more to him than we're led to believe in the film. He's definitely personally a better character in the book. He's got more to him, he's got more layers to him in the book. So I absolutely could believe book Ron could be a seer. Film Ron, not so sure. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's any theories that you really like, that you've heard and you think that they are just believable or absolutely balmy. Don't forget to like the video if you did, guys. Hit that subscribe and try and get to 100 subscribers by Christmas. And until next time, you take care.